So let's go ahead and create a new view in our Items and Bombs workspace together. We're going to start by coming over to our View dropdown, and we're going to create a new view. And in this case, we're going to call it Recent Prod for Production. And as soon as we create that, it's going to start us all over with only the item descriptor column, as you can see right here. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and add the columns that we need for our view. So if I come over here, notice that we can have all these different sections with all the different fields that are inside of our workspace. So we want to be sure to include description and unit of measure. And in addition to that, we also want to open up our lifecycle category, and we want to grab our release letter, our version timestamp, and our lifecycle. So I'll go ahead and click Save, and now it's going to go ahead and add those 5 columns to our view that you can see right here. Now at this point, I can hover over here and I can resize the columns to any size that I want them to be. In addition, notice that we want our lifecycle to be between our unit of measure and release letter. Now, if I try to grab it right here to drag over, notice that it instead sorts it by that column. So be sure not to grab it by the word. Instead, come over here to the white space, click once, and then you can see that the icon changes to a hand. Once you have that hand icon, then you can click and drag, and we can move this over to where we have it between unit of measure and our release letter. So it's very easy to go ahead and rearrange the order of the columns. Now we want to only show production and pre-release items. So I'm going to come right here to add a filter, and we're going to say show us the records where it equals production. And then we also want to show the ones that have pre-release. So I'm going to say or pre-release items. Now when I click Save, you'll notice that only pre-release and production items are shown. And if I want to do the same thing here for our version timestamp, we can say later than a specific date, and I can either type in the date or I can use this nice calendar. We'll go back a few years and say anything after January 1st of 2016. Notice right now we're down to 149 records. When I click Save here, it's going to bring us down to 64 records. Now as I've been making these changes, it's actually been saving this as my new view. So now if we go away to a different view, for example, we'll go back to our default view, and then we will come back. You can see this was the same that we saw earlier. And now if I go back to our recent production view, you can see that everything is set up exactly the same way that we had it before. So again, just a nice, easy way to create new views. Now, if we didn't want to start from scratch, let's say we wanted recent production, but maybe we wanted to only show pre-release instead of pre-release and production, I could come here and say duplicate that, and now we can call this our recent pre-release. And then instead of starting from scratch, we're now starting where we left off when we did our last saved view. And I can just come in here, I can delete out the production, hit save, and now I have the exact same view, but only showing me the pre-release. So hope you enjoyed this quick video on how to set up and configure views inside of your workspace.